St. Paul players.
Mega matchup about to go down inside the Firelands Conference tonight when Norwalk St. Paul enters the Cougars Den to battle Crestview. Live and free exclusively on the OH Report. We've got the defending league champion Flyers versus the up-and-coming Cougars. Interviews with both head coaches and starting lineups for tonight's game are on the way. Coming up next.
Why are all these people so happy? Because they just got their business online with TMS Plus Digital Marketing. Get online with essential digital marketing services for local businesses. And feel like they do. No hype, just results. That's TMS Plus.
Stop in the Cub Cave Carryout in Lucas. Conveniently stocked with everything you need, and even a one-stop pet shop. Located on Ohio 39 in the heart of Lucas, proudly supporting Cubs.
crucial Firelands Conference showdown brings us inside the Cougars Den at Crestview tonight. We're visiting Norwalk St. Paul. We'll look to continue their recent string of dominance in this rivalry, starting right now. Good evening, folks, and welcome to Olivesburg. My name is Brian Skronsky, joined tonight by Travis Berardi. This is a big game for both parties. Chance for a statement win if you're Crestview under first-year head coach John Kurtz in this new regime. Had an opportunity to speak with John before the game. Here's his thoughts on tonight's contest. Here with the Cougars, and Coach, of course, it's been a season unlike any other. You're just coming out of a quarantine situation. Tell me about the most challenging part about the transition back onto the hardwood and getting into a flow.
Well, just getting your legs underneath you, I think, is a big thing. And the other thing for us was I didn't feel like we came out and shot the ball very well against Lex. So those are the challenges you have, and then getting your kids back focused. Those are the three things we thought were going to be important.
You're off to a pretty nice start, 6 wins in your 9 outings so far, but I would say that you don't really have a signature win per se. How much stock do you put in that, getting a win over a team that's been pretty successful, and how big would one tonight be?
Well, you know, as you grow your program, obviously you look for those wins that would be big for your kids, and obviously playing this team the way they are right now would be a big win for us.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
So there it is, head coach John Kurtz of the Crestview Cougars off to a nice start here, Travis. 6 wins in their first 9 games after the last several seasons for Crestview. Haven't exactly produced very many victories here, so he definitely has changed the culture here and got a tough task, though. Fresh out of trying to get his team up to speed for a tough challenge against the Flyers.
Yeah, you know, they only had 3 practices before their game at Lexington, in which they lost a close one. But, you know, we've said before, Crestview looking for that signature win, and they can get it here tonight against the number 14 team in Division 4.
Opening possession for the Flyers, and it pays off with a bucket. That's Caden Maxwell, the 6'3 forward inside, the junior, putting up the first points of the night.
Yeah, it was a nice pass inside, perfectly positioned for the bucket.
Then the defensive rebound, ripped down by Scotty Adelman. But the Cougars and Evan Hamilton with the theft gives it right back, though. Poor decision there. Probably should have kept it and forced a defender to come out on him.
Yeah, that's just, you know, getting a little excited, trying to push it ahead for an open layup and missed.
Offensive rebound and the putback, so 2 buckets here in the early going from Maxwell.
Yeah, using that height advantage on the mismatch. Got the bucket.
Cougars were trying to get something inside, never opened up.
Looking at the stats from the Lexington game, only 2 starters tonight scored in that matchup. Hamilton with 15, as Artis misses. And then Evan Gibbs with 4, most of it scoring coming off the bench with Barker, Wells, and Ringler.
It's a Crestview team that definitely can go 8-9 deep on any given night, and there's a look at Nick Winslow forcing a timeout from Crestview as they are now down 6-zip to open up the game. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the starting lineups for tonight. Headlined by the Winslow twins, both scoring over 18 points per game this year, Travis. And we saw earlier in the year, Nick went over 1,000 career points, just the 4th kid to do that in program history. These have been 2 4-year starters for them. They've played a lot of basketball, won a lot of games.
Yeah, these 2 kids are special, and you know, their dad coaching a pretty good squad over at Upper Sandusky, so basketball runs in their blood, and they've sent St. Paul to some high peaks. Last year they were the number 1 team in the state for a little while, and this year, you know, number 14 at the moment, but they have another chance at a Firelands Conference championship along up there with Western Reserve, who's a good team as well.
Here's Hamilton uncorking one. Artis with the board up over a double team. That one won't drop, hung on the front rim, and now back the other way. Too easy right there. Nick Winslow in transition. 2 more.
Yeah, just very good transition there by St. Paul. Crestview not able to get back. They were still a little jumbled up there from that first offensive rebound, unable to get the put back to go, and it set up St. Paul nicely.
3 ball from the corner finds its home. Evan Gibbs finally breaks the scoring drought here for the Cougars in the early going.
And on the little scuffle underneath, we're going to get a foul against Hunter George. The bucket will count, but that'll be George's the first foul of the game.
This is Nate Winslow with the basketball matched up with Evan Hamilton. Takes him off the bounce all the way to the cup. Came up short, but again, the offensive rebounding game from Maxwell. It's been strong here in the early going.
Yeah, he's just pretty much dominating the inside, overpowering Crestview.
And now a block shot. Adelman got a piece of that one.
You were hoping, if you're a Crestview fan, hey, get a couple shots early, stay in it. But St. Paul, they really established their game, leading by 7 already.
Trying to make it 10, and they will. The triple from the corner pocket, and Adelman reigns it home.
Pretty darn good start if you're St. Paul. Working it on the offensive glass, hitting some shots, and really keeping Crestview to one and done.
It's a pretty potent scoring team, certainly in the Firelands Conference. 65 points per game is what St. Paul's been putting up so far on the year. Holding their opponents to just under 53. As they do secure the board here, and that foul is going to come about 70 feet away from the basket.
Yeah, that's just frustration right there. But, you know, St. Paul, Coach Smith, is 32nd year, 400 victories. So the school knows winning.
And they certainly know Coach Smith, his style, his attitude, what he's been bringing to the program for a long time now. Always impressive when you can have that type of longevity. Means that you're definitely doing something right. Intercepted. Hamilton 2-on-2. Kick out, corner 3, and it goes home again. Evan Gibbs with his second triple. He's got all 6 here for the Cougars.
The lone bright spot thus far offensively for the Cougars, and they're going to need more of that if they want to try and scrap their way back, but that is not how you do it. Maxwell once again just dominating underneath.
I believe that's, what, 8 points here for Maxwell?
Yeah.
4 for 4 from the field so far, but the hot shooting continues for Gibbs. He's already almost at a season average of 10. He's got 8 already.
And there's another offensive rebound for him.
So Maxwell creating another opportunity. Adelman can't deliver, cashing in for any points. Gives Crestview an opportunity here to trim down the deficit. 7 points right now is what it's at. Cougars looking to make it 5, but the scoop shot comes up short that time.
You'd probably be thinking it's the Winslow twins that you're supposed to look forward to scoring the points tonight, but then, you know, Maxwell comes down here and just gets some easy shots from underneath to lead the team right now with 8 points.
Kick out. Got caught up in the net there. Transition game. No good for Nick. Nate with the offensive rebound and surrounded by 3 Cougars. Still able to finish timeout, Coach Kurtz.
That was great hesitation by him. He had 3 guys on him. Couple little ball fakes there, gets them up, and finally picked his spot for the bucket, gets the layup, and another timeout for Crestview, down 9.
I think what's been most impressive about the Winslows, as they're a little bit bigger guards, both listed at about 6'2", is how good of rebounders they are. Nick averages 8 per contest. Nate, you just saw there, doing some nice work on the inside. And they both really work well on the offensive glass. 2 kids that, you know, just done a lot for this program, certainly. I can't remember how long the drought was for them before they won the Firelands last year, but it had been a while. So they were happy to finally get the monkey off their back in that regard and looking to make it 2 straight now.
Yeah, typically with these 2 types of players like them, you know, they'll hit the outside shot, they'll drive it into the bucket, but normally those aren't the type of players that will, box you out on the offensive glass. Try and get in there for those shots, but these kids, they do it all.
Cougars still looking to find their stride offensively. It's been all Gibbs up to this point. This time he draws a lot of attention and he gives it away off the double team. Nick on the leak out, adding to his point total.
Now 6 for him, and St. Paul, they have a really good transition game off a steal. They've scored 6 points off of that, and it's not like they're just running out there off the guy they were guarding. They see the strip is about to happen, and they already are halfway across half court in the transition game. Foul's going to go against Scotty Adelman, his first, team's first. Hamilton go to the line looking for his first points of the game.
Evan Hamilton, the leading scorer for Crestview so far this year, 19 points per game. Also hands out the most helpers for the Cougars, 19 on the season heading into today. And he'll cut it down to single digits as we're approaching 90 seconds to go here in the first quarter.
Yeah, they're going to have to get Evan Hamilton into the offensive game a little bit more. Gibbs has been able to, hit his shots, but Hamilton really hasn't seen the ball much in this first quarter.
Give credit to the perimeter defense being assessed, most notably, I would say, by Nate Winslow up to this point. Adelman, 2 defenders, kicks it out. 3 ball, comes up short from the right hand of Baker. Hamilton looked like he got hacked on that time, but it leads to this. Maxwell up into double figures already.
Whew. Man, he's been impressive thus far. 11-point lead.
Fade away, front iron. Second opportunity, and that one is short as well, so 2 shots for the Cougars and no points.
St. Paul out rebounding Crestview right now, 9-4.
But how about the position of Maxwell? Finally missed one after starting 5 for 5. Tried to switch to the left hand midair and just misfired on that attempt. This time Caleb Schwann with the reach in. Be the second foul team-wise against St. Paul.
We'll see if Crestview holds for the final shot here. 30 seconds left. But you couldn't have asked for a better start for St. Paul.
They've been efficient. They've defended well. 21 points so far. Well over their season average for a quarter, which is more like 16. So I think you're right. You got to be very pleased if you're a Flyers fan with what you've seen from these first 8 minutes, and can even get better here. Adelman on the drive. Nate, up fake. And wild shot at the horn, won't fall, but at the end of one, Norwalk St. Paul doing some work. They lead at 21-10. You're watching live and free high school hoops exclusively on the OH Report.
Hi, I'm Josh with Scout Construction, proud sponsor of local teams and athletes. Check out your favorite local sports right here on the OH Report.
Shakely Mechanical, fully qualified to help you select the best HVAC or plumbing system to fit your budget. Need AC or heating repair service? Living in North Central Ohio, Shakely's is your go-to since 1995. Exceptional service, exceptional products. Look up ShakelyMechanical.com today. Second quarter action just underway, and it starts with Evan Hamilton misfiring on a pull-up jump shot. Nate Winslow, not the case for him at the other end. Extends the St. Paul lead right here. Just so strong, went through the contact from Hamilton, who picked up his first foul and makes it 23-10. Chance to extend the lead here, make it 24-10. But no surprise. Maxwell picking up where he left off. Travis, he's got a dozen points. He was the story of the first quarter. Averages less than 5 on the season.
I mean, hey, you're going to get it to the open man underneath? Might as well. He scored off of those, but the impressive part is he's just established this dominance on the block. He's gotten 4 offensive rebounds. All the offensive rebounds are St. Paul's thus far.
Oh, whew. The SWAT team was out there patrolling the lane. Barker coming over, putting 5 fingers on the basketball. But St. Paul keeps possession here.
And what Maxwell's able to do now, since he has 12 points, Crestview's going to have to focus on him as well, which will open up the games for the Winslow Twins.
Here's another strong drive for Nate. Bit too hard off glass, leads to a fight on the floor. Mason Ringler down there fighting for possession along with Caden Maxwell. Jump ball, possession arrow, stays here.
And on the other end of things, Evan Hamilton, only 2 points. St. Paul defensively is shutting down the leading scorer of Crestview. Yeah, Gibbs does have 8 points helping him out, but other than that, perfect defensive plan for St. Paul. Nice move to the bucket there by Winslow.
Great backdoor, and Nick goes off the square. The answer at the other end, though. Strong drive baseline, and Owen Barker comes through. Good-looking bucket there.
Averaging 10 points a game, 7 rebounds off the bench.
There's a nice kick-out 3-ball. Baker, Adam Baker, the senior, showing some nice touch from the corner.
Now all 5 starters for St. Paul into the scoring column tonight.
Cougars certainly have taken about the Flyers' best shot here in the early going. They are down by 18. There's a nice no-look feed. How about the setup? And then Baker capitalizing with the open look.
And did you see that they were trying to double-team Maxwell on that rebound attempt, able to open up that corner 3 by Baker?
Yeah, what a change it is that so much attention is needed to be rolled over there to try to block out Maxwell, who has been a flat-out menace so far in the lane. 0 for 2 on the free throw attempts, but the Cougars create a steal, fighting for an offensive rebound, but the putback comes up short. Third time's a charm, though. 2 points there for Barker.
He now has 4.
Nick Winslow off the hesitation. Just got trucked there by George.
$16-point game here. Just over 2 minutes gone by here in this second half, and it's just been all St. Paul.
They definitely look like the team that's got the most continuity and somewhat expected. Such a weird circumstance that Norwalk went through earlier in the year with the quarantine, which Crestview, again, they just checked out of it last week after spending 2 weeks out. And for those of you that haven't paid that much attention to what that's like for these high school kids, it's 2 weeks, no practices, no gym time, no cardio, no exercise unless it's on your own time from home. So it's definitely, it's tough, but everyone's dealing with it. St. Paul was able to fight through it early in the year, and right now the Cougars still trying to find their legs. I think that's number one, what you miss, and then number 2, of course, just remembering offensive sets, defensively, rotations. Like, I mean, there's a lot to it when you miss 2 straight weeks.
Yeah, especially when it's in the middle of the season as well. Okay, you get maybe a 1 or 2 games, then get into quarantine. It's not as bad, but you're running through half of your schedule as Winslow picks the pocket and gets the easy hoop for his 6th point of the night.
Yeah, they can do that too. They both these Winslows, great defenders on the ball, just harass you. And bigger size, as mentioned, about 6'2", so they got some good length, lanky arms. And tough call. Possession awarded to St. Paul. Cougars fans certainly don't like it.
Yeah, it was a tough. I thought it was deflected at least off the St. Paul player, but it'll go to them. St. Paul up 32-14 here.
Winslow runs into some heavy traffic, has to kick out. Adelman, jump stop. Nate doesn't do this often, still has not made a three-pointer. If the stats are correct that we were handed tonight.
That's surprising to me because both of the, especially last season, it felt like both of the Winslows couldn't miss from beyond the arc. But nonetheless, even though he's not made a 3, St. Paul's still successful this year too, which just explains how good around the Winslows they have.
Well, Nate definitely models a lot of his offensive game after just getting to that middle area that is kind of lost in 2021 a little bit. Works in the mid-range, likes to get it inside too, as we see that's the case for the Cougars and Barker, who's having a nice first half.
He just backed his defender down, got the nice little kiss off the glass, the layup attempt. Cuts it down to a 16-point lead.
Here's Nick. He makes a whole bunch of threes. Came up short on this one. Flyers can't secure the offensive board off the leak out. Cougars get an easy one this time. It's Gibbs. Timeout taken on the floor. St. Paul wants to talk things over, and Mike Smith, who I had a chance to catch up with before the game. Let's hear what Mike had to say.
54, so I was young and dumb when it started.
I've got longtime St. Paul head coach Mike Smith with me now, who's heading into, I guess you could still call it a rivalry game, even though you've had the run of play here recently. What have you seen from the Cougars, though, on tape that's led to this resurgence? Pretty nice start for them so far.
Oh, yeah. I mean, first off, they're just athletic as heck, and, they got a lot of guys that can shoot the ball, and their basketball skill level is really good, and Coach Kurtz does a phenomenal job. He does a great job with them, and, I know they'll compete hard, and should be a great game tonight.
And for you guys, 7-1 start so far for you, and you got 2 18-point per game scorers, those of course being twin brothers in the Winslows. What can you say about Nick and Nate and what they bring to the table for your team?
Well, they're 4-year starters. They're 4-year ladder winners for us. Play with a lot of emotion, and they're physical guards, and they really get after it, and we rely heavily on them.
All right, Coach, good luck to you tonight.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Thank you. So there is Mike Smith, head coach of Norwalk St. Paul. Been over 3 decades that he has been patrolling the sidelines for them. Pretty awesome stuff. One of the longest tenured coaches in the entire state of Ohio, of course, and I know they just love him at the school and these athletes too. So it's part of why he's been around for so long.
And we want to congratulate him on his 400th win that he just had with the squad. You can put him up with the names of a Joe Baylog and those types of coaches, just staying with one school for so long. You have to respect these guys.
Yeah, it takes a lot to build a program, implement your philosophies, and have them stick not only with the new generation, but the generation before that, and then, all the changes that they've had to endure.
Well, you have to think Norwalk, the city, has 2 coaches that have spent quite a while at their school.
The other being Steve Gray with the Truckers, who also over 400 career wins,
Yep.
I do believe.
Yeah, going up, he's approaching 500. It's always a fun stat when Norwalk plays Ontario because there's just about 1,000 wins between the two.
Yeah.
So St. Paul with a couple misses And this is what Crestview is going to have to go on a little bit of a run here. If they can cut this to 10 points, maybe less, you got to have to feel good after that first quarter.
Well, and that's always the goal, is that you'd like to see it single digits heading into halftime, and they're approaching there as Austin Wells is going to step up here with a chance to make it just a 12-point game, but misfires on the first free throw offering.
Yeah, Crestview 0-3 from the line thus far.
Cougars
reverse commentator jinx. There you go.
They haven't been a great free throw shooting team. Neither teams actually have shot it well from the charity stripe in 2020-21.
You know, since the first couple minutes of the second quarter, haven't seen much of Maxwell underneath.
Here he is setting a screen, trying to free up Nate. Kicks it to the corner. Now here's a triple unloaded. Nearly an offensive board.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, Maxwell was going to have it. I think Nick might have poked it away from him there. Now Hamilton misses, but friends in low places are always good to have. Owen Barker again.
He has 8. So Gibbs and Barker both, they combined for 18 points. It's an 11-point game. St. Paul, I believe, 0 for its last 3 possessions.
And Crestview playing better sagging defense, getting into the passing lanes. But as I say that, how about this? Baker unloading from outside. Missed the previous attempt, that one.
That's a big bucket for the Flyers. Kind of cuts off some of that momentum that Crestview started to gain. We'll see if they can answer here.
Looking like a bit of a football score right now, 35-21 and a turnover. Trying to create some numbers is Nate Winslow. Offensive foul. Artis stood tall.
Yeah, he was there a good 2 seconds before the collision.
Watch Frankie Artis just bang. Take the contact, and you see all that salad from the backside just swinging in the wind as he does that. That's
grit right there, Brian. That's grit.
It's an unbelievable head of lettuce. No question about that.
Under a minute left here in the half. St. Paul by 14.
And they have totally taken Evan Hamilton pretty much out of his offensive comfort zone as Artis showing off some moves right there over the left shoulder.
How many times do you see a player make a defensive play and then come down immediately and make the offensive play as well?
Great defense always will fuel you at the offensive end. Nick Winslow fouled. I believe they said that was on the floor. I don't think he's going to shoot. Well, maybe he is. 2 shots on the way, excuse me.
You know what, and he created that contact too, because it looked like Gibbs was doing some good defense, but that spin move allowed him to just get right up into his body to create the foul.
First team All-District 6 performer last year. All-Ohioan was Nick Winslow, and you got to expect that he's going to do the same thing this season.
You know what? I love the release he has. Everything above the head.
Got his Flyers right now on top by 14. Hamilton tried to sneak that one inside, but it's poked away. And now the Flyers with an opportunity to score the last bucket here of the second. Nick to the lane. And John Kurtz hates the call. Boy, he really came flying up out of his chair. And So it's going to be Barker picking up his first foul. And
I mean, he was up in the air, but it looked like he was by him and maybe a little side bump. But is that enough to warrant a foul? I mean, he was out of control going up and under. It's close.
Definitely would have been tough for Nick to maintain the body control to actually make the shot. But it doesn't matter. He's on the free throw line, splits the pair, down to 2 seconds. Hamilton lets it go from half court. Man, just missed that one. But at the end of 2, the Cougars trailing at the half at home by 15. It's 38-23. Norwalk St. Paul on top. We'll take a timeout. We will be back with some first half stats, and we will unveil a brand new segment for you guys today here at the break. Stick around. The Eye of the Storm is coming up after this.
Hi, I'm Josh with Scout Construction, proud sponsor of local teams and athletes. Check out your favorite local sports right here on the OH Report.
Shakely Mechanical, fully qualified to help you select the best HVAC or plumbing system to fit your budget. Need AC or heating repair service? Living in North Central Ohio, Shakely's is your go-to since 1995. Exceptional service, exceptional products. Look up shakelymechanical.com today. It's halftime at the Cougars Den, where right now Crestview on the ropes. They've taken a couple shots. Norwalk St. Paul off to a great start. 38-23, they lead it. And as we're about to find out, in the eye of the storm, it's been all about the painted area for the Flyers.
Thank you, Brian. It's been an interesting first half here from the Cougars Den. The one big thing the eye of the storm noticed today is St. Paul's strength and physicality inside on both ends, on defensive ends, not letting Evan Hamilton get to his spot inside, which would open up shooters there, being very physical for him, hacking him, making sure he doesn't score inside. And on the offensive end, getting offensive rebounds, getting the ball into the post. It has just been an incredible display of strength for them tonight. It'll be interesting to see how the rest of this one plays out, with both teams going back into the locker rooms, discussing game plan. So it'll be very interesting to see how this one plays out. That'll do it over here for the eye of the storm. Thank you very much, Brian, and back to you.
Thank you very much, Storm, and no question about it, there has been a lot of dominance so far in the painted area for Norwalk St. Paul. 5 offensive rebounds for the Cougars, 4 though for St. Paul. All of those coming to Maxwell, who was able to deliver with some big buckets and doing some nice things. My name is Brian Skronsky, joined now by Travis Berardi, as we will get set to take a look at the first half stats. And, I think that as we went into the eye of the storm there, that he's absolutely right. the painted area has been a big point of dominance so far for St. Paul. They've done a nice job offensively when they've got inside.
Yeah, coming out of the gate, Crestview were focusing on the Winslows. And what did they do? They gave it into Caden Maxwell, who doesn't average that much coming into this game, but he's leading all scorers right now with 12 points. He did get a couple offensive rebounds on misses, putbacks for those scores as well, but he really showed that dominance and allowed the perimeter to open up there in that second half as they hit 3 threes in the second quarter to extend their lead. Crestview, however, sticking with that rebounding key, Crestview started picking things up. They started getting those defensive rebounds, shutting down the offensive glass for St. Paul, evened things out, made a little bit of a run. It was up to about 18 points. The lead, they were able to cut it back down. It's only 15 now. They had it down to 12, but if Crestview is going to want to get back into this, they're going to have to keep the paint shut down on the offensive glass for St. Paul. Hamilton's going to have to get into this game. He only has 2 free throws, 2 points. That's it. But thankfully, because of Gibbs and Barker combining for 18, this isn't a big blowout yet.
They're certainly within striking distance. You got to cut down the lead, though, the deficit in this third quarter if you're Crestview when you come out. And it all runs through Evan Hamilton. You're right. He has to start finding his range. I think if he knocks down a 3, that could be big for him, force the defense to come out and have to play him, because right now they're giving him a little bit of slack. Evan's trying to drive a lot, and it just has not been there. The Winslows are pretty decent perimeter defenders.
Yeah, and what they're going to have to do, if he can't take it off the dribble himself, he's going to have to make a couple passes, get himself open, maybe get a couple spot shots up instead of trying to drive it in the hole, because it has not worked for pretty much any of the Crestview Cougars tonight. There's been a couple guys, it's been Barker, he's been able to back his defender down and get a couple layups, but other than that, pretty good solid defense by St. Paul. I know, especially towards the end of the half, Crestview, a couple passes tried to get into the paint, intercepted, a couple no looks, maybe desperation type passes inside to force things, and St. Paul ain't having nothing of that.
Right now it's the Flyers with a 38-23 advantage, and we see you out there watching in Facebook and YouTube land, so why don't you drop us a comment, let us know where are you watching tonight's game from and who are you cheering from. Give me a prediction, too, for the second half. Do you see Crestview coming out strong in this third quarter and making it a game, making it interesting going into the fourth? Or is St. Paul just too much to handle tonight? Are the Flyers going to leave out of here victorious? Drop us a comment on Facebook and YouTube, and you just might make it onto our fan zone. We're going to take one more timeout. When we come back, we will have third quarter action for you live and free exclusively right here on the OH Report.
Hi, I'm Josh with Scout Construction, proud sponsor of local teams and athletes. Check out your favorite local sports right here on the OH Report.
Shakely Mechanical, fully qualified to help you select the best HVAC or plumbing system to fit your budget. Need AC or heating repair service? Living in North Central Ohio, Shakely's is your go-to since 1995. Exceptional service, exceptional products.
Look up shakelymechanical.com today.
It'll be Cougars basketball to open up second half action inside of the Cougars Den. Crestview right now trailing by 15, nearly turning it over on their first possession of the third, and actually they will, as that one went off of the leg, out of bounds from Hunter George.
Yeah, it's not the best start to the second half you want for Crestview.
Definitely not what you want to see if you're a Cougar fan.
Yeah, that just hurts. Now it can be extended to 17, 18 points, and St. Paul could possibly just take this over from the start of the half. We'll see.
Quick hands, though, Evan Hamilton. That's what he can do so well.
Now he just needs to get going on the offensive end.
That was a tough shot. Had to switch it to his left hand, put up a floater, and there's Nick on the leak out. Too easy for him.
13 points for him, and once again, St. Paul with that transition offense, getting it going.
Nick, one of the best at that I have seen this year. Just always waiting. There he is lurking. Taking it away from George, who didn't bite on the up fake, but spun back baseline, nearly got the bucket to drop, and Nick Winslow called for the foul.
Yeah, St. Paul going for the early knockout here in the second half. Heat up to 17 again, just about a minute gone by here in the second half.
And that's going to be a quick poll of George, who's over on the bench now. Austin Wells, who's got the rock, just checking in. Wells gets it to Hamilton from the free throw line. Now Frankie Artis going to pull the trigger. Shot blocked there. Coming out on the perimeter was Maxwell.
It was the right play by Hamilton, getting it to the open guy, but St. Paul able to close out and get the block.
There's Winslow, so strong inside. Took it into the body of Artis, and that was deja vu from basically the previous possession. This time, though, a little bit better finish.
And a great start.
Wow.
Winslow just shot out of a cannon here to start the half.
He thought he might have got fouled on the shot attempt. Referee didn't see it that way. Wells missed it. Hamilton with the follow, and that's his first field goal, if you can believe it, folks.
And that just might be the spark that he needs to get going on offense.
A 19-point-per-game score, flat out held in check by the Flyers, who grounded him in the first half. Nick Winslow, boy, is he making all the hustle plays.
Oh, what a pass!
Woo! Showtime on the setup. Maxwell, the recipient. Those two have combined for one heck of a performance so far.
He is playing like a man among boys right now.
Hamilton trying to put the Cougars on his back offensively. Walking back, though. Got a little bit of a earful from the bench, and
yeah, he's just frustrated right now.
Artis with the board, gets it to Evan. And you got to imagine that fatigue's got to be a little bit of a factor for Crestview. Still trying to find their stride, but that'll help. Gibbs finds the mark again.
That's his third triple of the night. 16-point game once again. And there's an offense. Oh, carry. For a second, I thought that was going to be a push-off, but still a turnover. Only the fifth turnover by St. Paul. Sorry, Brian.
Yeah, turnovers really haven't been a problem for either side. Well,
other than
maybe for the Cougs.
the start of the half there, 3 straight steals by Winslow. Oh, what a save.
Wow. And the Cougars benefit from Hamilton's athleticism. Found the hands of Heath Cash, and he was able to knock down a mid-range J. So 14-point game now as Nate goes to work. Not a very well-liked call here inside the Den.
I mean, it looked like he had all ball to it, but it depends on if his body was into the shooter or not. It's going to be against Wells, his first.
Nate well short on the first attempt. Already approaching the midway point here of this third quarter.
And it seems like Crestview survived that first onslaught by St. Paul back to the halftime deficit.
But Hamilton just cannot seem to find his stride offensively. Adelman with his second turnover here of the quarter, called for the travel. Gets the Cougars the rock back underneath their own hoop.
Yeah, you're just not allowed to roll on the ground with possession of the ball unless you're dribbling. It's a clear turnover. Crestview with a little bit of a break and a chance to cut into this lead some more.
As Coach Kurtz looks on to his team struggling here offensively in the third.
Crestview, they're just going to have to find their spot shooters. Dribble into the lane, kick it out. Just like that.
Here's Cash.
Perfection.
And he cashes one.
So he has 5 points here in the last about 35 seconds, and it's now a 12-point game.
So the Cougars trying to claw their way back into this thing. Still got a lot of work to do, but that three helps. And here are some of the comments rolling in. And how about our boy G-Man tuning in tonight? He's doing a highlight for us over at Lexington. Casey thanking us here at the Orange Report, and thank you for watching, Casey. Mike Baker in the gym tonight, rooting on St. Paul. And
give us a wave, Mike, if you're listening to us right now. A wave back.
Josh says St. Paul has always been a tough team, and certainly have under Coach Smith. There's Jennifer Winslow watching from Upper Sandusky. Surprised, actually, she didn't come over with her husband, who we spoke with for a couple minutes before the game. Jeff Winslow here in the building, head coach of the Upper Sandusky Rams.
Yeah, I'll be calling their game this weekend. And Crestview gets the turnover. So now the 7th by St. Paul, the 4th in the second half.
Cougars starting to build up some momentum. And they still have not been able to get their star going. Hamilton, the Cash! He's starting to find his range. Drills that one from dang near at the Olivesburg store.
Yeah, he almost hit that from Ashland.
Deep from in the den. Offensive foul, and Crestview can just feel it. The energy starting to pick up, and they are feeding off of it at this point.
That's going to be the 3rd on Adelman, too. Crestview within single digits now. Ton of time left. 3 minutes left in the third. And the Cougars starting to feel it, Brian.
And here's Cash rolling. He was open. Tough shot there by Wells. And the rebound scooped up by the Flyers, who pushed the pace the other way. Nate Winslow, so aggressive going to the 10. Here's another look. Hamilton makes the right play.
Yeah,
a lot
definitely.
of contact. Don't let him get an easy one.
Nope.
Nate, just a 54% free throw shooter on the season.
1 of 2 tonight.
This is his 46th attempt of the year.
Back up to a 10-point game now. Oh, 1 of 2, but they get the offensive bound.
It's Nick Winslow with the board. He can't finish. Maxwell can't either. Wells pushing it into high gear, back the other way.
That's a walk.
It's going to go against Gibbs, who definitely looked like he wanted to pull a trigger on that three there. Nick going to try one, pops it off from the corner. Rebound to Cash.
I mean, it's pretty easy to say, Brian, that after that first quarter, this has been a pretty evenly played game.
And that's a nice take that time by Gibbs. much more direct with his attack there.
Lead down to 8.
So the confidence starting to build here for the Cougars. I think another stop here would be very huge, and they're going to get it off the turnover. Back the other way, it's Gibbs.
17 points now for Gibbs. It's a 6-point game.
But matching it right away, Nick Winslow going tit for tat right there. The floater short, offensive board too hard off the square.
Coming up on a minute left in the third. That was a big answer by Winslow on the previous possession for St. Paul. Leads down to 6, gets the bucket, puts it back up to 8, and then they get the stop. Big momentum stopper, but Crestview now with a chance at possibly the last shot or almost a turnover.
Nick up into the third row as he disrupted that one.
That just shows the hustle that he has, going all out, even into the bleachers.
Constant motor from these Winslow twins. And this is an interesting situation here that the Cougars are going to talk about. Timeout taken.
More times than not, you see teams in about 40, 30 seconds, instead of holding for the last shot, even if the coach says it, they get a little antsy, they take it to the hole. Maybe a turnover or a defensive rebound ends up turning into points for the other team. A 4 or 5 point swing, and that's usually huge, especially at the end of the third quarter, because all that momentum goes over to the other side when something like that happens. So I like this timeout by Coach Kurtz, telling his players, hey, let's maybe pass it around. If you see an absolute open opportunity, take it. But if not, let's just keep it at least at 8. Keep it within single digits as we head to the fourth.
Seems like it'd be a solid plan here for Crestview, who have gotten themselves back into this game. This possession, too, could be crucial. Could cut it down to just 2 possessions. So Hamilton locked up with Nate. Great matchup right here on the perimeter.
And Winslow's not going to let him just hold it.
Now Evan cuts into the lane, swings that out, 3 ball on the way, and it's a huge bucket for Austin Wells. The junior drills it from the corner. So that takes us into money time, folks. We approach fourth quarter action, and we've got a game on our hands. 5-point cushion, the Flyers still on top. You're watching live and free high school basketball exclusively on the OH Report.
Hi, I'm Josh with Scout Construction, proud sponsor of local teams and athletes. Check out your favorite local sports right here on the OH Report.
Shakely Mechanical, fully qualified to help you select the best HVAC or plumbing system to fit your budget. Need AC or heating repair service? Living in North Central Ohio, Shakely's is your go-to since 1995. Exceptional service, exceptional products.
Look up shakelymechanical.com today.
The Cougars make their move in the third. They have pulled themselves within just 5 as we open up fourth quarter action. And it's going to be a foul here right away, but man, how about the play of both Cash and then also Gibbs in that third quarter, Combining for 15, Travis, that was huge.
Yeah, Cash, especially that 3 right at the end, right here. Asking you shall receive, wide open shot. Less than 5 seconds left, hits it, makes this a 5-point game, and now the pressure's all on St. Paul.
And the momentum's pretty much all with Crestview after that 20-10 third.
And you were thinking after the first 4 offensive possessions for Crestview to start the second half that this was going to look like it was going to be a laugher. But they regrouped, and they just started cutting into that lead.
I think a lot of it has come with their defensive prowess. Nice fake. Missed shot attempt, though, but the third opportunity is true that time for Barker.
That's just who wants it more, Brian. Underneath, it looked like St. Paul's going to come out with the rebound. He just rips it out of the guy's grasp, puts it back up, and it's a one-possession game.
Can Norwalk St. Paul come up with a response offensively?
But you know what? They have 2 guys on the floor right now that can. And one of them just took a tough shot.
Maxwell, more offensive board work, collects another, and fouled on the shot attempts.
That's going to be against Hamilton, his third, but Maxwell only 2 points thus far in the second half, coming early on in that third quarter.
He was definitely the story of the first half.
12 points.
Caden Maxwell with a dozen, averaging less than 5 per game on the year. So certainly he's cooled off, and Crestview has done a lot better at the defensive end of shutting down what was working well for St. Paul in the early going.
And when you have a guy leading the team like Coach Kurtz, that's his best trait, making those adjustments on the roll. That's going to be Nate Winslow's second. Only team's third.
And Hamilton just seems like he's determined to eventually find a spark offensively. He just needs one basket to go in. That's not going to do it. Matter of fact, that's going to be his 4th foul. That's a big one.
That is tough right there, especially with 6:18 left. We'll see if Coach Kurtz brings him out, and looks like he's going to. It's a tough break for the Cougars, especially with all the momentum that they had. I know Hamilton only have 4 points, but he's still that floor leader out there. So we'll see if Crestview can, weather the storm for a couple minutes before he comes back in.
Austin Wells will replace the senior guard. They're going to go inside now. Triple team is Winslow. Gets it to Maxwell. Misses the first, misses the second tip in. And out of bounds over to the Cougs.
2 golden chances from underneath just wouldn't fall. And not only momentum, but Lady Luck on Crestview's side right now.
Cougars with a chance to pull within 1 or even tie here on this possession. Artis sets the screen. Wells turns the corner, sets up Cash. Quick move, blew by the defender, hanging in midair. An athletic play off the high point of the square.
You could say he cashed that in.
That was beautiful stuff right there. Nice drive.
He has 10 points. It's a 1-point game.
Offensive foul. It would have been an opportunity for a 3-point play had the whistle gone the other way, but
that's the right call. He pushed off with the elbow before his drive started. Referee right there to catch it. That's his 4th.
So Scotty Adelman, along with Hamilton, both just 1 foul away from being out of this game as
he stepped on the line.
Ooh, Cash out of bounds. So tough break for the Cougars. Just place awareness on the floor right there. A little off from Cash.
So the Cougars outscoring St. Paul here in the second half, 24-10. And now we're going to have a timeout, a full timeout by St. Paul. A little miscommunication on that substitution. But Crestview absolutely in this game with 5:14 left. When about, I'd say, 7-8 minutes ago, game time, it seemed like it was all St. Paul.
Cougars have definitely dug deep, turned the corner, and got themselves right back into the thick of things. And with just 2 league losses for Crestview, they're certainly not out of the Firelands Conference race. They're going to have to win all their remaining games, though, within FC play. And how about this? Our top fan, Linda Mendoza, weighing in with a comment. No surprise there. Linda finds time to somehow watch every single one of our live streams.
Best fan ever.
We salute you, Linda Mendoza. If there was an OH Report Fan of the Year, she'd probably be right at the top of the stack.
Unanimous pick.
So there's another look at the fan zone, and we salute you, fans, for chiming in with comments on Facebook and YouTube. Hope you're enjoying the live and free coverage here from the Cougars Den. My name is Brian Skronsky. We've got Travis Berardi as my wingman here tonight for what's been a really thrilling game of runs. St. Paul got off to such a hot start. They have cooled off here in recent memory. And you see that it's definitely been the defensive play of Crestview that has flipped the script and made this a different game here in the second half. They have made everything tough on the driving lanes for St. Paul.
And just a great example there, triple teaming Winslow in the paint.
But here's a 3-on-1. Nate gonna take it all himself. And boy, you see the frustration on his face.
That'll be the third on Gibbs. I don't know. I mean, he had 2 guys right there. Sometimes, you know, you want to take it into your own hands. He will go to the line, however.
Yeah, I think the frustration for Nate, of course, he missed the shot, but the fact that he did have a 3-on-1 and elected to be a little bit selfish, if you will, filled the lane that he already had a player in to that channel. So,
and it cost them a point, possibly. You don't know if they're going to actually make the layup, but it still keeps it a 2-point game.
Wells down Main Street, missed it. Artis is there for the board and the stick back, playing glass man cleans it up.
We are tied at the midway point of regulation. And we were talking pregame, Brian. This is a big game for Crestview. Yes, they have the 6-3 record coming in here, but they didn't have that big win, that signature win. And just with this effort here in the last 2.5 quarters, they might be able to get it. What an offensive rebound.
And now Artis fighting for it, tied up as he fell down to the hardwood. Possession arrow, though, staying with Crestview. And that's something that Coach Kurtz spoke with me about before the game, was the fact that they haven't won a big game this season yet, if you will. Haven't been able to knock off a team like a Norwalk St. Paul, who state ranked in the top 15. So, yeah, he admitted, of course, that this would be great, huge for the program, and especially the fact that they're just still in about their first week back onto the floor. As there he is, giving some instruction to Evan Hamilton and company, and we'll see how long Evan sits over on that bench with those 4 fouls. His backup's been doing a nice job. Wells missed an offensive board. Are you kidding me? How about the play in the paint of Barker tonight? He's been great.
12 points for him. Hits his average, and Crestview has the lead.
Nate Winslow just missed that one.
Everything going Cougars' way right now.
Wells off the jump stop, floater, bottoms up. Cougars are on a flat-out roll. And St. Paul's got just the 1 point here in the fourth quarter, Travis.
10-1 run here in the fourth by the Cougs.
Winslow can't be the hero right there. Leaking out. Easy bunnies. All the momentum flowing right now.
And they are feeling it. You just see Coach Kurtz give the fist pump. They just took something out of the St. Paul book. They got the defensive rebound, the big kick out, the transition bucket, and it's a 6-point lead for Crestview.
And here's Gibbs doing exactly like what you said. We saw the Flyers do that with Nick Winslow getting out in transition multiple times here tonight. So totally rewriting the narrative over these last two quarters after it was all Flyers in the first couple.
I'm just extremely impressed at this fight that this Cougars team had. They could have just, put it away after that little 6-0 run by St. Paul to start the second half. But what did they do? They shut things down. Offensively, they got some things going. And they've also been doing this with Evan Hamilton on the bench with 4 fouls.
It's definitely been one of the more impressive feats of the Cougars comeback. And there's no question that Evan Gibbs, he has to be our player of the game if Crestview elects to hang on and win this thing.
Yeah. And you got to give it to Cash as well. Cash, 10 points all in the second half, a couple big threes. But him and Gibbs, really the main reason why Crestview has a 6-point lead with 2:36 left. And now this, a big possession for St. Paul.
Gibbs pressuring all the way. Adelman takes it in, wouldn't find its home. Maxwell with the board. He's got to be in double figures rebounding here tonight. And then is fouled by Barker. It's going to be the 7th team foul against Crestview, so 1-1.
And this is huge. St. Paul with a chance to get points with the clock stopped now.
Evan Hamilton getting set to check back in for Crestview. Maxwell cannot end the scoring drought.
So now we'll see, does Crestview just continue to take it to the bucket, or are they going to try and run clock?
See how aggressive defensively Winslow is getting. Nate on the reach, and it's on the floor, though. Barker thought that he should be heading to the line for an extra.
If this was the NBA, I'd say yes, but not quite. That's Winslow's second. They still have a foul to give as well. And look who's back in the game.
Yeah, Kobe Roman just exited. Number 23 back into the mix for the kids in white. Artis kind of forced that one up. And here comes St. Paul. Nick left all alone from outside and came up well short with the offering, but look at this. Gibbs again. Whoa! Nate Winslow with the recovery. Met him rudely at the 10. Check this out. Pow!
If St. Paul is somehow able to pull this off in the last 152, you have to go back to that play. Wow.
Yeah, that's a momentum switcher right there potentially, because that would have pushed it out to an 8-point cushion for the Cougs. Now they're going to have to try to earn it one more time.
That'll stay with Crestview now. 1:45 left.
Evan Hamilton with the shot. Still icy from the floor. Nice speed. Winslow tracks it down. Up over Artis. Too hard off the square. Maxwell with another offensive board. Athletic play. And Nick's just got to throw it off of Frankie.
Both teams going all out right now. You got to love this type of basketball being played. 6-point game. Two of the top 3 teams in the Firelands Conference. This is, it can't get any better right now, Brian.
This super high energy, and you know that Crestview desperately wants to end this long drought they've had playing against St. Paul, who's about to have Nick Winslow on the line. It's been 7 straight wins for the Flyers in the regular season over their Firelands Conference rivals. So you got to look all the way back to December 30th, 2016, the last time Crestview was able to beat these guys.
What a win this could be against the 14th ranked team in the state of Ohio in Division IV.
Winslow calmly knocks down the first.
But you know St. Paul, they're going to have a run in them. It's just, can Crestview cancel it out by scoring on the other end?
Nick goes 2 for 2. Needed a whole lot of that circular rim there to flush it home. And now the foul to give is right there. Yeah, it will be a side out here for Crestview. That was just the 16th foul on St. Paul.
Free throws will most likely determine this game now. Coming up on 1:20 left. 4-point lead. Ooh, nearly a backcourt there.
Hamilton down the lane. Great feed. Parker and one. Flexing on him here in the Cougar Den.
Wow. Hamilton looked like he was going to take it to the hole. Last second little underhand dish. Count the basket and the foul.
Such emotion and energy being displayed right there from everybody that's cheering on the kids in white, and certainly the players that are wearing the white uniforms, man. They want this one bad.
Yeah. What an effort by the Cougars in this second half. Referee's going to reset here. 1:10 left. This could make it a 3-possession game.
Barker clings it.
So the door stays open.
Winslow comes down.
That's a charge.
No
Out of
question
control.
about it. No question about that one. Wells was there in plenty of time. Winslow just tried to go right through him.
Yeah, it's just both of the Winslows, they're just trying to create some offense, trying to get to the hole, get to the line, but that was a little too out of control. Crestview, another huge charge taken here. We approach a minute left.
Hamilton got to pick up his dribble. Gibbs comes back to rescue him.
Oh, and they break it. Coach Kurtz screaming, no, 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 pull it back out. And there's the foul, so 1-1 coming up for Hamilton.
Some big free throws right here. Third foul against Nate Winslow.
And yeah, Hamilton only 4 points, but who else would you want at the line right now with the game on the line?
So Coach Kurtz potentially getting his signature win since joining the Crestview program. Would be their 7th victory, too, of the year. More than they had all of last season.
What a turnaround in such little time, especially, you know, as Coach Kurtz will call a full timeout, but just, you got to think, even with COVID, with the quarantines, for what Coach Kurtz has done with this team in such small amount of time. They didn't have a summer to get prepared. He brings his team in here in the fall after football season got done, had limited practices. Like you said, kids couldn't do anything during quarantine unless you wanted to go out in 20-degree weather and run or shoot, which probably nobody did. And to be able to do this against the 14th ranked team in the state after being down so much at the start of the second half, this is just a big boost of confidence for the squad. And just, you know, hands down, what an effort and what a job by Coach Kurtz with such small time to get ready for this game.
My concern for them after getting behind by so much early is that they would have to expend so much energy to try to get back in the game in the third. I thought maybe their legs would lose them in the fourth. But to their credit, defensively, they have been so good. Just 3 Flyers points here in the fourth quarter, man. That's the story in the second half.
Yeah, and they just completely taken St. Paul out of their game. They frustrated both of the Winslows. Maxwell really hasn't done much here.
He's been able to get to the offensive glass, but the stick-back finishes have not been there. Crestview's made it tough on him. As Nick comes up short, Frankie Artis can't get it. Maxwell will. So this one on the way, and finally, St. Paul able to find something offensively.
But the run out.
And the layup for Barker.
16 for him, 18 seconds left.
Adelman got bumped. No call. And now Barker going in. Misses it. Aggressive play on Maxwell, but you can put a bow on this victory. Cougars going to be moving to 7-3 on the year, Travis.
And they're going to stay alive in the Firelands. Western Reserve, though, probably a little happy right now. They're going to have a 2-game lead on St. Paul. But Crestview, just unbelievable second-half effort all around by this squad. And they did it, remember, beginning of the fourth quarter, Hamilton got his 4th foul. Like I said, their team leader, he didn't have that many points, but he directed the offense around. The first free throw's good. And they were able to do that with him on the bench.
It has been an impressive display by the complimentary pieces for Crestview tonight. When their biggest star did not have his best game, it didn't matter because that kid right there with the rock, who is going to be our player of the game tonight, Evan Gibbs, showed out, helped carry the Cougars back out to victory. Coming out of quarantine and making a statement here at home as they knock off Norwalk St. Paul, ending a 7-game losing streak to the Flyers in the regular season. We're going to take a timeout. We will be back with our post-game coverage, including an interview with Gibbs, and we'll also go back inside the eye of the storm, wrap things up with final stats. So keep it with us. Live and free high school hoops post-game coverage will return in just a moment.
Hi, I'm Josh with Scout Construction, proud sponsor of local teams and athletes. Check out your favorite local sports right here on the OH Report.
Shakely Mechanical, fully qualified to help you select the best HVAC or plumbing system to fit your budget. Need AC or heating repair service? Living in North Central Ohio, Shakely's is your go-to since 1995. Exceptional service, exceptional products. Look up ShakelyMechanical.com today.
And for the eye of the storm in the second half, is it hot in here or is it just Crestview's offense? Crestview just coming out and completely dominating on all cylinders in the third and fourth frame. I cannot believe what my eyes just witnessed. Heath Cash splashing home from three. I know we're in the eye of the storm, but rain is on the forecast for tonight. Evan Gibbs doing his thing. Owen Barker grabbing rebounds, being an interior force. And, of course, Evan Hamilton, Mr. Fourth Quarter, knocking down clutch threes to seal this one and put it away. Truly was a spectacle of a finish tonight here at the Cougars Den. I'm going to send it back up to Brian. What a game to watch. Back to you, Brian.
Quite a game and quite a comeback here for the Crestview Cougars, who come up with, man, just a clutch performance overall, I would say, in the second half. And they really did it with their defense, their effort, and their energy at that end, leading to some nice offense as we take a look at the final stats here. And you know, there weren't very many turnovers in this game for St. Paul at the beginning, but they eventually, Crestview would turn up the heat, turn them over quite a bit in the second half, and then they patrolled the lane. They did well. They out-rebounded them by 6, and I think that was a big reason why the Cougars were able to come back and knock them off.
Yeah, I mean, just after the first couple of minutes there, they completely shut down St. Paul, especially inside the paint, as Maxwell only finishes with 15 points, only 3 points in that second half. Yeah, he did get a couple offensive rebounds there, but he was hounded and couldn't get those shots to fall. And then on the other end for Crestview, just the play of Heath Cash, 10 points in the second half. Gibbs, 9 points in that second half. You got Owen Barker with some big buckets down the stretch. 8 points for him in the second half. Just a complete team effort by Crestview to get them back into it. Despite, you know, Evan Hamilton, he will finish with 6 points tonight, but just sitting on the bench with 4 fouls in at the beginning of the fourth quarter, you're thinking, oh, this is the chance for St. Paul to get back into it. But no, a complete team effort by Crestview gets them a win over number 14.
Yeah, it was. The Cougars got a little something from everybody on the roster, and on the flip side, you look at the star power for St. Paul, and even though Nick Winslow showed out, game-high 19 points tied with Gibbs for the tops, Maxwell really didn't do much in the second half after having all those offensive boards, and Nate Winslow shut down a little bit too as well, Travis. So I think that you have to credit a lot of the Cougars' success tonight to picking it up on the defensive end, which is not easy to do against a team that's as potent and lethal from the perimeter as St. Paul is.
Yeah, I mean, they shut everybody down. It was a combined effort on St. Paul's part. In the first half, everybody got in on a scoring column, but in the second half, just a complete 180 by the Cougars, who get a very, very big win tonight.
That's right. So Crestview knocks off St. Paul 60-55. We are going to take one last quick commercial break, and we have got Evan Gibbs joining us on the other side.
Hi, I'm Josh with Scout Construction, proud sponsor of local teams and athletes. Check out your favorite local sports right here on the OH Report.
Shakely Mechanical, fully qualified to help you select the best HVAC or plumbing system to fit your budget. Need AC or heating repair service? Living in North Central Ohio, Shakely's is your go-to since 1995. Exceptional service, exceptional products. Look up ShakelyMechanical.com today. Our player of the game tonight, presented by Shakely Mechanical, is none other than Evan Gibbs. A game-high 19 points for you. Let's first talk about the three-point shooting and then the added dimension that you brought with the drives and the penetration. Tell me about your overall offensive performance. Break it down for me tonight.
Just got warmed up today and I was hitting, so it worked out.
You were certainly the hot hand for your team on a night where your leading scorer, Evan Hamilton, didn't really have it going. Did you feel like you had to pick up some of the pieces there with Evan limited to just 6?
I mean, not really. Everybody plays hard in this team, so I mean, I always feel confident when I have 5 people on the floor with me. So
you bounce back. You're nearly down 20 points there at the start of the third quarter. Tell me about the mentality of the team and maybe some of the discussions that were happening in the huddle. How did you motivate one another to stay with it and start chipping away?
Well, we wanted to be the team to come back and beat St. Paul for the first time in a long time, and we did it.
Yeah, it's your first win over the Flyers since 2016, so it hasn't even happened since you've been in high school. It's definitely been a long time, and you did it with your defensive presence. You held them to just 7 points in that fourth quarter. Tell me about how you guys were able to shut them down after they were so good offensively in the first half.
Everybody wanted to win. We all tried, played a good D, and worked out.
And I had an opportunity to talk with Coach a little bit before the game, and he felt like you hadn't had a signature win yet this season. I would say that this probably qualifies as one, even though it's still super fresh. What do you think this can do for you guys moving forward, knocking off a team that was ranked number 14 in the state of Ohio to start the day?
I mean, we can beat anybody, I guess, now. I mean, we all play hard. Keep going. Keep getting wins.
All right, big win here tonight for the Cougars, 61-55. They take care of St. Paul. And Evan Gibbs, our player of the game, a huge reason why. Thank you so much for joining us, Evan, and congratulations on the big dub.
Thank you.
All right, so the Firelands Conference race shaking up a little bit here tonight. St. Paul was trying to keep pace with Western Reserve. Now they're a full 2 games back. Crestview playing their way back into it as they come up with a monster win. I'm Brian Skronsky with Travis Berardi and getting set to close things out here from the Cougar Den where, boy, dude, it was just a monumental comeback. 17 second-half points is all that Norwalk St. Paul could come up with after scoring 38 through the first 2 quarters, 21 of them in the first. What would you narrow down and say was the biggest change in this game from the first quarter to the fourth quarter? Where did it all change?
I think it all changed with just the halftime adjustments by Coach Kurtz. Yes, St. Paul scored a couple of times off of some steals to start the second half, made it up to an 18-point lead, but then they got into that game plan at the, that halftime change, those halftime adjustments. They shut down the paint on the offensive glass from St. Paul, unable to really get anything going in the second half there. They were able to hit some shots. They were able to get some open shots, unlike the first half. And they just wanted it more in that second half. It seemed like maybe St. Paul thought, okay, we're up 18, we might coast. And then that's when Crestview came up and pretty much hit them in the face. And by the time they realized what was going on, it's under 10 points, and it's a ball game once again.
It definitely felt like both of the Winslows tried to step up to the occasion, sport that cape, get the big bucket that they needed, but they just never came for them down the stretch in the third and certainly in the fourth quarter where everything just went cold offensively for St. Paul. And I think you hit the nail on the head. Crestview just showed more energy. They had more heart. They were getting the loose balls on the floor. They were making the extra effort on the defensive end, and they just willed their way to victory tonight. I think Coach Kurtz, you saw the fire that he displayed there at the end of the game.
Definitely.
I'm sure he had a lot to do with that.
Yeah, and I mean, a couple guys, picking things up in the second half as well. I mean, we said Cash, 10 points in the second half after being shut out in the first half. It's those players around Hamilton really picking up the slack. 3 guys in double figures tonight, 2 more with 6 points. You just have a complete team effort like that. That's what helps, get the comeback started, is when everybody contributes, everybody goes 100%, not only on the offensive side, but the defensive side as well. They're taking charges down there. They're fighting for rebounds. They're undersized sometimes. They're still getting those rebounds because they wanted it more, and they got the big win tonight.
Yeah, really big win, and I think the best part about this matchup is that they get to see each other really soon again, Travis. As we look at the upcoming schedule for Crestview, they're going to be at Plymouth on Friday, and then they go to Western Reserve, they get to host them here on January 22nd, and then January 23rd, they go right back on the road at St. Paul. So those are 3 big games.
And St. Paul, they're going to want payback after that, but that's a tough 2-game stretch. The two top teams in the conference back-to-back nights. But, I mean, hey, anything's possible after you saw the effort in the second half.
Here is our upcoming schedule for this week of live and free basketball streams. Tomorrow, Mount Gilead versus Centerburg girls. We will see if the Trojans can have a victorious performance on their home floor. Cary versus Upper Sandusky girls. We know that the Lady Rams want to bounce back with a big performance.
Cary actually they upset Seneca East tonight.
That's a big win.
That is a big win in the Northern 10. So, Cary riding high as they go into that matchup.
Crestline will be at Lucas, and we're going to have a special night there. Get an opportunity to present Riley Gossam with some goodies and a nice big check. Danville versus Mount Gilead boys that night as well. And then on Saturday, we've got 3 games, Highland and Mount Gilead, Winford and Upper Sandusky, and then the nightcap, Clear Fork versus Northmore boys. All right, that's going to wrap up our coverage here tonight from the Cougars Den. I want to thank you guys all out there for watching, and of course, thank our incredible staff. Tonight, running camera, our star intern, Austin Michael, was making it happen. Storm Blunchley pulling double duty tonight, running camera down on the floor for you, then also taking you directly into the eye of the storm. Jory Hollenbeck was our up-top cam. Travis Barty was with me on the call and always making us look good. Our director, Adam Thompson, who makes all the cool graphics and such too, including the new graphic for the Eye of the Storm, our new favorite segment here on the OH Report. All right, so long for us here tonight from Olivesburg. We'll see you on a live stream near you beginning tomorrow.